Hello everyone, my name is Amanda and welcome back to another video of the Plenty Mandy. Alright, so if you guys have been following my channel for a while, know that one of the reasons I love Hoyas is because how different they can look even within the same species. So there's many reasons for that, right? So for one, it could be the environmental factors or like the growing environment that you're giving it. The lighting, the watering, the fertilizing, all these factors could play into the role of like how the plants looks and grow. And the second factors is the genetics. So it's just like human, right? We are all human, but then we have different genetics, come from our parents. So we have different appearance. And same with the plants. So depending on like what clone you get, even within the same species of Hoyas, they could look really different. So today I think it'll be fun for me to show you some of the Hoyas that I have multiple of within the same species, but they look different, right? We'll discuss, maybe why it looks so different. And one disclaimer is, when I'm talking about the same species, I mean the same species. So not like the same species, but different varieties, because, there's like, so many different varieties of, for example, Hoya carnosa. But no, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about the exact same species, at least when they were sold to me, just to avoid any confusion. So let's get started. All right, so I think the first one I want to show you is the one that it's more common or easier to access. Most of you guys may have it already, and this is my Hoya pubicalyx Royal Hawaiian Purple. So this, this guy has appeared in my many of my videos, and you guys know this is my Trader Joe's, like $15, like pubicalyx Royal Hawaiian Purple, which is really, really beautiful and really, really good deal. And as you can see, Hoya pubicalyx have a longer leaf shape, and then you have this like random splash on there. And you can see the new leaves. I think the reason that it's was called Royal Hawaiian Purple is because when the new leaves first emerge, it always have this like deep maroon or purple shade, which is really pretty. And then you can see you have a really waxy cuticle on there. And eventually the purple leaf will fade like this one into green. So yeah, so this is my first Hoya pubicalyx Royal Hawaiian Purple. All right, so this is one of them. And I do have another exact same species and cultivar, also a Hoya pubicalyx Royal Hawaiian Purple, but you can see for this one, the leaf size is a little bit smaller. So now it could be like the age as well, right? Because like when plant age, the leaves grow bigger and more mature. And I also feel like this guy, the leaf is even more elongated, especially the older leaf in comparison, I can't catch it, to my other Royal Hawaiian Purple. But yeah, no, regardless, I really, really like it. I think they're both really beautiful regardless. And they are a really great grower. So that's the number one. So this one is the one that is like, they are a little bit different, but they're not like so different, right? So we're gonna go over the next one, which is also a more common or like easily accessed, which is my Hoya carnosa Krimson Princess. I love this girl. So again, if you guys watch my previous video, know that I love the princess so much more than the queen, just because I cannot keep the queen alive. But the princess, it just grows so well, even though I don't pay too much attention to it. So now I know that you're looking at one pot, but it's actually two separate plants. So you can see the bottom part, the one that with a lot of pink leaf, which is, by the way, super gorgeous. I love this girl. It's one plant. And if I turn it around, you can see this vine that's come up here. This guy is actually another princess that I got from a plant tray. And the bottom one, I got it from like a local plant shop. And you can see, obviously, the variegation is like super, super prominent. Like, the pink, the yellow. And And you look at the top one, you can see the variegation is not as prominent, even though it still have really beautiful variegation. And also you can see the top leaves even reverted. So yeah, and I also noticed that this guy has a rounded leaf shape than the bottom guy. So yeah, so I think it could be like obviously the clone, right? The genetics of the plants. But it also could be the environment, the lighting, you know, it was given. So given that they are living in the same pot right now, and then obviously they get the same kind of lighting condition, like right by my window. But yeah, I think like maybe because it's where it's come from, you know, that's why this guy a little bit more green and this guy a little bit more, have a little bit more variegation. So, and this is not the end because I have another princess I want to show you. And ta-da! So she is a big girl. I got it from another plant shop. So you can see like this guy have a lot of variegation, but also a lot of green. I bought it this way. It hasn't changed much for me. It has grown. So if you look at the top right here, if you can see it, like the pink, it's actually coming out really nicely. But also you can see I also have a lot of like, you know, green leaves as well. And I also noticed that, you know, some of the leaves are like much smaller and rounder than my other two clones. So yeah, so this is another of the same species of Krimson Princess, but it looks really different. And I love all of them because that's one of the best thing about Hoyas is like they're the same species, but they also look so different. I love that. All right, so the previous two we talked about, the Warrior Hawaiian Purple and the Princess, they look different, right? But they are not like super different. Like you can still recognize that, okay, yeah, that's a Hoya Carnosa Princess. Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess, or that's like a pubicalyx Royal Hawaiian Purple. The next plant I want to show you, it looks really different. So this is my Hoya Mathilde. I love this plant because, as you guys know, if you guys have been following me, you're probably sick of hearing me saying that I like green, succulent foliage, and this is one of those. So you can see it have like an oval shaped leaf and it's really succulent. Like this leaf is like hard. And there's another one, and then there's some smaller one down here. It's very healthy, very green, and then you can see the vine. So this is my Hoya Mathilde that I got from Gardino Nursery a while ago actually. So yeah, it had grown. I love it. But so you ready for my other ones? All right. So I'll show you. Ta-da! This is also a Hoya Mathilde. And I got this guy from Sunlight Tropical. I think they are a local nursery in Texas, but they also do online order, like limited online order. And look at how different these leaves are in comparison to the one that I just showed you. And this guy is growing a new leaf for me as well, just so you know. It's so pretty. It's so beautiful. Boop. Yep. So yeah. They're the same plants. They're the same species. So at the beginning, I was like, okay, this can be a Mathilde. This looks like a Chubiana, right? The really long, big leaves one. But then when I look up, I did some research. I like, you know, do some Googling. I talked to some like, you know, Hoya grower expert. Some of the Mathilde actually look like this. So I was like, okay. So this is a Mathilde, and this is also Mathilde. So I really don't know like what caused them to look so different. See, I mean, obviously it could be the clone, the genetics of the plant, but also maybe the growing environment. I don't know. So this is what I meant by they're the same species, but they look so different. Great. All right, so the next one I want to show you is it was really popular. I don't know if it's still that popular. And this one, I noticed the leaf colors are different. And most importantly, it's like the patterns on the leaves are also different. And this is my Hoya Mathilde. So as you can see, there is some like really like darker color leaves with like splash on it. And there's also some lighter color leaves that have a lot less splash on it. So I don't even remember how many plants are in here, because at one point I was so obsessed with this, you know, Mathilde, that I just, every time I see a Mathilde, I just buy it. So there's maybe like 3 or 4 plants in here total. But yeah, you can see like as I turn it around, you can see like the colors are different, the splash are different, etc., etc. So yeah, talking about splash, so I really want to point out one thing is, a lot of time we see a plant, there's so many like, you know, basically there's a splash version of like all the Hoyas. There's like, you know, Obovata splash, there is a pubicalyx splash, there's like Mathilde splash, right? In my opinion, or like just from what I observe, or like, you know, the knowledge that I have is like splash is not like a particular variety, right? And neither is like Hoya callistophylla long leaf or short leaves or different varieties of like Finisonii. Splash is more like it's genetics, obviously. There's some genetics in it, but also I feel like it's a factor that is highly related to the light you give the plants. Because I noticed that I have a Obovata, right? And it have a little bit of splash, you know, when I first bought it, nothing crazy. But then as I put it under grow light, I noticed all the new growth that came out have a lot more splash on it. It's basically, it's an Obovata splash, right? And I also observed that, the reason I bring it up is because I also observed that I want to show you a separate Mathilde that I have. I didn't get this as a Mathilde splash. I just get it as a Mathilde. But as you can see, the splash on this one is a lot more. Like, especially if you look at this bottom leaves here, like basically 1/3, at least 1/3, or I would even argue like half of the leaf, it's splashy, right? And you can see even the upper leaf beside the splash, it's a lot more showy than the couple one that I showed to you before. And the different things is, this guy, it's also live under my grow light, just like my Obovata's splash. And the other one that I show you that have fewer splash than this one, it's actually just live by my windowsill. There's no grow light whatsoever. So yeah, so I feel like, you know, the splash, like the splash factor, yes, again, it can be genetics, but it's also really highly affected by the light, you know, I give it. So if you guys are expert on this matter, or if you guys have done any research on it, feel free to leave it in a comment below, but at least that is my observation. All right, cool. So yeah, so really highly related to the Mathilde that we just discussed. You know, we know that different coloration or patterns on Hoyas can be both the genetics factors and also the environmental factors, which is mainly light. And as you know that a lot of time we love the Hoyas is because they turn red under the green, under the lights, right? So it's very lovely. And I also do have a couple of those that I want to show you. Ta-da! So this is my Hoya Rebecca. And you can see this side, it's a lot more red than this side. And the reason for that is because they are actually originally 2 plants. So if you can see the green side right here, I actually got it as an unwooded cutting from a seller on Etsy. And I wood it up and it just like grows so well. And this guy, I got it on Facebook. And it came already like, you know, sun stress is already red. So yeah, so obviously, like, you know, they have a little bit different genetics or the environment that they originally come from. But the interesting thing is I put them in the same pot and they're living in the same environment, which is again under my grow light. And it seems like the red guy maintains its red, as you can see, but the green guy also maintains its green. So I see that's a complicated thing about why Hoya looks so differently, because yes, you know, as you give it more light, it gets sun stress, it is turned red. But also, I think it's all it's on top of that, it's also based on its genetics. So this guy, even though it's living in the same environment, like under my grow light, it just doesn't seem to want to turn red. So yeah, so I think that's another interesting observation. But regardless, I just want to show you, they are the same exact species, which is Rebecca, but you know, they look really different. Well, somewhat different. All right, speaking of, let's talk about the next one. So this is the plant that I have been hunting for a while, and I finally got it from Rick on Facebook. And you know that plant that you like have been hunting for a while and you never got it, and finally you decide to go for it, like you beat on it and you got it, and right after you got that, 10 other opportunities came in at the same time, and that's one of them, and that's why I have multiple one. So let's show you the first one. This is my Hoya Spa Gunung Gading. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but probably not. So anyway, it's a really, really beautiful plant. That's why I have been hunting for it for a long time. As you can see, it have really, really beautiful winging, right? And then as you give it more light, more sun or grow light, it's turned red. It starts to get that sun stress look, just like the Rebecca. And when I got it, it wasn't that red. It was just like, you know, more green. And yeah, and like I said, I put it under light, and then it started to just like come up with this really beautiful red tint, which is lovely. Right. So this is clone number 1. And like I said, after I found this one, I found another one pretty easily. And you know, I just decided to get it because I do really like this plant, and you can see how different they are. Yep, they are the same plant. So, or same species, right? So this is also another Hoya Spa Gunung Gading, and they live next to each other under the same lighting. And when this guy first arrived, it just looked, you know, it's the whole leaves look as green as this guy. I will put a picture somewhere just so you guys can see how green this guy was when it first came to my home. And after living in my grow light for a while, it just turned completely red to a point that it's beautiful, but I'm also worried that it's got too sun stress, right? But you can see again, you know, it's not just the environmental factor, because like I said, they both live under the exact same grow light. They literally are next to each other. But this guy apparently turned a lot redder or evenly red than this guy. And also that you can actually see, like, you know, this is the original color, you know, the kind of like green right here. And also you can see a little bit right here. So yeah, so it's interesting. It's not just, you know, always the light. It's not like the more light you give it, for sure it's going to get red. It's also depend on the clones itself. So ta-da, this is a great example. I just want to show you guys. But regardless, like I said, they're just gorgeous. I love this plant. I don't regret getting like multiple of them, although they're not cheap. It's worth it. It's made me happy. So last but not least, I want to show you 2 plants that I got from the same grower, which is Susan Sparksvega, the famous Coco Ranch Hoyas owner, right? Very famous and popular, experienced Hoya collectors and grower. And I was so honored and so lucky that I was able to get 2 of the same species of plants from her. So I want to show you this one first. So this is my Hoya Dr. IBOK. IBOK. So anyway, I got this from her a while ago, and it's just this really like green succulent, and you can see a little bit of like red tints here. And I think that is because of the lights again. It's just a really, really beautiful green succulent plant, and have some new growth starting up right here. Yay. And guess what? I got his mom. So according to the website, I cannot be 100% sure, but according to the website, this is Susan's mother plants of the Hoya IBOK. And yeah, as you can see, it's very long. All right, I think it's like, it's very long, right? The vine all the way. And it's even have a beautiful peduncle at the end. So again, I cannot be 100% sure, but again, according to the website, this is the mother plant. So basically, he is from her. Ta-da! So you can see like they are very, very similar. And this is the difference. So when you get a plant, you know, when you take a cutting and then grow a plant, the baby plants or the baby plants will get the exact same genetics. Basically, it's the exact same clone as the mother plant. So I think it'll be fun to like end it with like, okay, all this plant, they're different clones, different environment, they look so different. But this two, it's actually related. So yeah, this is my Hoya Dr. IBOK. I love them both, they're so pretty. All right, so what do you think? I really enjoy doing this video because, you know, it just basically show you guys what I meant by even within the same species, they look really different. Like I can talk all I want, but you know, nothing would demonstrate the points better by actually showing the multiple plants that I have that actually is a living examples for that particular arguments, right? And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, do you guys also have plants that like you have multiple of because you just love it so much and you buy multiple of them? And that looks really different or that looks really similar. I think it will be interesting things for us to observe. And yeah, if you like this video, make sure you click like. It's really helped me to understand that this is the right content for me to produce for you, and I'll keep doing it. And if you want more future videos like that, make sure you subscribe because I do have a lot more Hoyas I want to show you. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye!